Hi everybody, welcome back to Be Wowed by April Lee. I am your host, April Lee. I just wanted to jump on here quick. This is my 2020 challenge for the ice yarn that was created by Creative Grandma and Krista from the Secret Yarnery. I am wearing my scarf. I did not get too creative. Haven't been in a very creative mood lately, but I wanted to make something. I did stick with just a simple pattern. So let me share a little bit about the yarn and then I'll get into the pattern that I used. So I used iced yarns and this is called Harmony. And it's a really pretty 4-weight I don't know, I call it two-tone because it's got two different colors in each of the strands. And it's really pretty and it's variegated, so it changes colors really nice and slow. And it just makes a beautiful pattern, as you can see. I mean, look at these color changes, how pretty they are. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And then I added a little bit of fringe onto the bottom of it here. But in this let me read the specs on it. It's a 100-gram ball, and it is 100% premium acrylic, and it uses a 5 to 6 millimeter or a US 8 to 10. I chose this yarn because one, it's highly durable. And since I know we were donating these items, I wanted to make sure I made it with something that I didn't have to worry about someone ruining, just throwing in the dryer, washer, dryer, things like that. And I just thought the colors were absolutely amazing. I mean, look how pretty they are. I used one ball plus one of these. What's left of the second ball. So I should have plenty. I was thinking about making like an ear warmer. Not so much a hat, but like an ear warmer with this, because this is a girly color. So I thought maybe an ear warmer would be nice. Maybe 2 ear warmers and another scarf. I don't know, and just make the scarf a little thinner or less wide. I believe I started with a chain of 27 or 30. And all I did was half double crochet, single crochet, half double crochet, single crochet. And I know there's a name to that pattern. I have no clue what it is. But I always like those kind of patterns because it gives it some texture without being too, I just haven't been in the mood to really get creative and, like I said, and follow like a really difficult pattern. But I thought this would be a really cute pattern. Look at these colors right here. These are my favorite ones, the purples and the pinks, and then how it goes into like the bluish purples. That is absolutely gorgeous. And it's big enough that you can wrap it around, and keep yourself warm. So it'll, keep your neck warm, and it's nice and thick up here. So if you put your coat on, this is just enough back there. It's not going to get bulky, and you'll keep your neck warm. Here in Pennsylvania, that's extremely, extremely needed, because especially like right now where our highs are like 23, it really needs to be nice and warm and snuggly up against your neck. So that is my 2020 challenge. Like I said, I do plan on making a few more. I'm not going to be able to get them much out before it starts to warm up. So I do want to start getting to work on some of these if I can. If not, I'm going to at least donate this one, or I might just keep it and then put it into my donation stash that I'm going to be doing for next year or this coming winter, starting in say like November, December. I want to have a nice decent amount to donate to local 501(c), which is a nonprofit status here in Pennsylvania or in the United States, in case you are outside of the United States. So wanted to jump on and show you this. I have a few more things that I want to show you. I can't be on too much longer because I do have some laundry to do, which I really hate doing. I've already accomplished 2 doctor's appointments today. Took my prescriptions in to CVS to get refilled, and I still have to go back and pick them up. And I really kind of wanted to make my veggie soup tonight, and that might still happen, but I don't know. We'll see. I might start the potatoes before I go, and I forgot to pick up some baby carrots. But anyhow, I have one WIP that I am working on, and it is the preemie blanket that I've been working on. And I don't really have, I'm going to say, probably about halfway done. And what I used, these are all Stitch Studio by Nicole Classics, or I should say Studio Classics by Nicole. And I'm using a variegated, a solid, and a cream color. So, and there goes my hook. As you can see, this is my variegated right here. And then I went into a couple rows of solid, and these are just single crochets. And then I did a couple rows of the cream, and then I went back into the variegated, the solids, the whites, the variegated, the solids, and the whites. And I have like this much of it done. So that's about half of it done. As you know, it's a preemie blanket, so it doesn't need to be very big. And the stitches need to be tighter than normal so that their little fingers don't get stuck in the side of them. So that is what I'm working on right now. And I haven't really been able to crochet much the past actually since right around Christmas, because my ulnar nerve, which is basically your funny bone, and it's right in here. Well, or at least that's where mine swelled up. Mine is compressed again. Back in 2013, 2014, I had severe carpal tunnel, so I had both of those done on my wrist. And they discovered that my ulnar nerve on both sides on both arms were compressed. So I said to the doctor, instead of having 4 separate surgeries and 4 healing times, can we do the carpal tunnel on one hand, the ulnar nerve on the other, on the same arm in one surgery? And he was willing to do that. So that was perfect. It made, recovery a little bit more difficult because especially the ulnar nerve, I can go through the carpal tunnel surgery no problem. The ulnar nerve, you're bending and extending or banging your arm against something. So you're always doing something to it to agitate it. So I always had a little bit of a hard time getting that to not hurt. But it started flaring up about 3 months ago, on and off. When it flare up, I would stop crocheting for a little bit or slow down. And it would, go back down for a week or whatever. But about 2 weeks ago, I started back with getting the symptoms of the compression, which is my pinky goes numb, and then partially this finger, my ring finger, goes numb. And then my arm, no matter if it's bent or if it's straight, it will feel like it's going to sleep, like with those little picky feeling. So last time I knew I held off too much, and they said I could possibly have suffered permanent nerve damage. That's irreversible. So this time I did not want to take a chance, and I've contacted an orthopedic doctor that takes care of that part of the body. And I have received my my medical records from Arizona from my orthopedic doctor from the Core Institute there when I went for my surgery for both of them. So now I am just waiting for, did this come in a bag? Oh, it's down there. So now I'm just waiting to get to the doctors. I know I'm going to have surgery on it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I know that for sure. So it's just a matter of when. Right now, I actually have a doctor's appointment for my foot on February 11th, or February 11th, I think. It took me forever to get to this doctor's appointment because he was so booked up. But I know I'm going to need surgery. It's the same surgery that Sandy from Crochet Canada just had with the bunion and restructuring her toes and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, well, hers was a little bit worse than mine, but not much. Mine protrudes pretty good, but it is deforming my toes and has deformed my toes. So I've left it gone too long now. So that hopefully I'll get an answer as to when my surgery will be on my foot with the February 11th appointment. So I'm kind of anxious just to get that over with. Thankfully, I have a sit-down job that's not demanding, that will allow me just to get the normal rest at home for maybe a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks max, and then go back to work and be able to have some assistance from my co-workers, with getting stuff for me. But other than that, pretty much being okay. As I always forget, in my beginning of my videos, if you can subscribe to my videos if you're not already, I would super, super appreciate it. I'm trying to build my channel up, and I need to get more subscribers. And if you can like and share these videos, that would be super awesome as well. And then what would really, really help me is if you watch the videos from start to finish. Even if you're not really listening like everybody else says, just let me play in the background. Just let me chat away. I know Pamela's Creations is really needing help with her watch time. So I'll go back and put on video. Like, I watch all her current videos, but from the time I wasn't subscribed to her, I go back and it's just and I'll play these videos as I'm laying in bed reading my book. And I'll just turn the volume down so I can, concentrate on my book, but I'm still getting her watch hours. So if you can do that for me, I would really appreciate it. I really want to build my channel. I have a lot of new things and new and exciting things coming up for the 2020 year for my channel. So I hope you stay tuned for those. It's been a rough beginning of the year and end of last year. So I'm really looking forward to getting myself back up on my feet. As I think I talked about, I started this, what they call MPP program, with our local, it's called Geisinger. It's a health system that pretty much monopolizes this area, to be honest with you. It's called the Multidisciplinary Pain Program. And what they do, if you didn't watch my other video, is they take, and like today's appointment, which was amazing. Like, I came out of there feeling so amazed because I finally feel like someone's listening to me. Like, oh my God, she's really in pain. She's not seeking drugs. He even looked at me, as a couple other of my doctors have looked at me in the past that I've seen, and he says, "Do you work full time?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." I said, "I do have a sit down job, but I do, it does require me to get up and down to the copier, to different departments, and then of course to the lunchroom to get drinks and things like that." He said, "I don't know how you're doing it with all this stuff that you have going on and you're still juggling that." And I said, "Well, that's what I've been really, really having a hard time dealing with." I said, and it's been really, really, really rough. I said, my next paycheck will be my very first full paycheck that I receive that will have a full 80 hours on it. And I'm so super excited for that because I can give my landlord more rent. But he's been super duper amazing. So I've gotten so lucky. I'm hoping everything just works out the way it's supposed to. You can see my little Tala there. She's doing fantastic, by the way. She is starting to gain weight. She's got her appetite back. She's got her personality back. It is amazing. So again, thank you to all my subscribers and to everybody out there who said prayers for her, because she has come back to me and she's eating her treats and begging for her treats like she's a starving child. So I haven't weighed her lately, but when I pick her up, I can tell that she's gaining weight, and I'm not feeling the protruding of her backbone and, like where her ribs basically is, like I was before. You can feel a little bit of fat in between them. So yay, I'm super excited. My baby's back. However, with that being said, Muffin is now having some issues. She has not felt good since last Sunday. She has not really ate much. I had given her a couple French fries from Burger King on the way home from the town that I grew up in. And within like the hour, she was puking them back up, and she has been like puking. I don't know if she puked today because I've been at doctor's appointments, but because she has a tendency of puking and then eating it. But it's been like white foamy slime. And from looking up on Google, it says that it could be like a gastro issue. So I thought, and her belly's all bloated out, and I'm like, my poor baby, and I don't have the money to take her to the vet. So I got a call from my ex-boyfriend out in Arizona last night, and he says, you know what, I bet you it's gastric issues. Now, he didn't know that my sister had Googled it for me, and that's what came up. He was just going by the picture I showed him of her belly and her symptoms. And I said, well, I'm in my head, I'm going, that's two people now who, came up with the same thing separately. He said, do you have any Tums? And I said, yes. He says, take a half a Tum and crush it down, put it in some milk, see if she'll drink the milk. Well, she wouldn't drink the milk. So I'm like, well, if she's not going to drink the milk, and I know if I have acid issues, milk helps it as well as Tums. So I got one of the syringes out that I used to feed Tala with, and I syringe fed her. I think it was like 4 syringes with milk that had crushed up Tums in it. And I came home from my first doctor's appointment and had an egg muffin. And before, she didn't want anything to do with it. Like, I got pizza last night, which is her favorite thing to, eat a couple pieces of. Well, bites of, I should say, not pieces. And she didn't even budge or even think and care. She wouldn't eat anything. Today, she came over and she actually ate a couple pieces of my McMuffin. And she ate a couple pieces of her pill pockets, but then that's all she ate. She won't eat anything else, which is fine, because if the milk helped a little bit, then I'll try it again and maybe help her her gastric issues go. So so if you can all say prayers for Muffin. I need these fur baby issues to go away, because I need my babies healthy for me. So anyhow, we got that, and I have one more thing I want to show you. I promised myself I would be on a yarn ban. All right, I gotta take this off. It's getting a little bit too hot for me. So I promised myself I would not buy any more yarn. But Friday we had a little party at work, and they gave us all a hoodie with our company logo on it, which was awesome. I was waiting for this because they sent them around a survey asking what size do you want, and the sizes on the survey only went up to a 3X. Well, I'm a little bigger than a 3X, so I had put in the comment section what size I needed. They apparently didn't see that. So when they came in, they said, well, this particular hoodie doesn't come in anything higher than a 3X. You can either take this 3X, which it fits me around the shoulders and everything. It just has about this much that doesn't close in the front. So it's still, excuse me, it's still doable for me as a throw over. And, or you can have one of the 4Xs of the hoodie that we gave out last year. And I'm like, I don't want one of those hoodies again. I have one. And I just think it just made me feel really left out. It really did. And I was to the point where I was really angry, and I was really upset because they know they have larger employees. I'm not the only larger employee. Now, there's not a whole lot of us, but our company is small. We are only like less than 50 people. But you would think that they would have thought of that. And it made me feel like I was being left out again, like I was back in high school, or, school period, not just high school. So I left work Friday night feeling kind of bummed out. And I just needed a little pick-me-up. I had to run to Walmart and pick up my thyroid meds. And when I did, I had to grab some water and a couple of things of groceries and a couple items. So I, for some reason, found myself in the yarn aisle without even realizing where I was. Literally, I'm seriously, like, I pull in I had one of those motorized chairs because I was in a lot of pain on Friday. And I'm like riding through the yarn aisle thinking, how did I get here? And it's like my brain just automatically pulls me there, I guess. But I did get some really, really pretty colors, and I couldn't resist it. I got 5 of the mainstay basic yarn, and then 2 of Red Heart. So let me show you what I got. This is the mainstay that I bought. It is called Purple Passion Variegated. It is absolutely gorgeous. Look at those colors. These balls are they're $1.99 at my Walmart. It's 100% acrylic. These are the ones that are made in Turkey, so they're actually soft. They're just as soft as the Red Heart. Well, I know not a lot of people like Red Heart. I mean, there's all these nice new yarns, but I mean, I do like Red Heart. I made an Afghan from them. My first Afghan that I made for myself was with Red Heart, and it softens up pretty nice. It was with retro stripes. But anyhow, so this has 285 yards, 260 meters. It's a 5-ounce ball. It's a number 4. I just saw these, and there was only 2 of these colors, and I got both of them because I love pinks and purples. And this has a really dark purple, has pinks, purples, mauve colors. So I got 2 of those. And then I couldn't resist this color. It's another mainstay. And it's called Purple. 10020 Purple. And this is, let's see, made in India, but I don't feel any difference. This is actually a little softer than the Turkey ones. But this is 100% acrylic. And it says it has a cow pattern on the inside. Is it knit or? Nope, crochet pattern. Little Ridge Crochet Cowl. This has 397 yards, 363 meters, and it's a 7-ounce ball, 198 grams. And this is also a number 4. So it's a very, very pretty dark purple. And I got 3 of them. As I said, they were only $1.99. So, I figured 20 bucks for those 5 skeins. No, 10 bucks. Excuse that. Don't go by my math. 10 bucks is not a bad deal, and I just thought those colors were perfect together. And then it's been a long time since I bought this, but it's a Super Saver Ombre. And this, I have teals, I have pinks of this, I have blue. One of my friends bought me a purple. I forget all the colors I have, but when it first came out, I fell in love with this yarn, but it was like super expensive. Now it's like $6 at Walmart. You can't beat it. I mean, look at these colors. They're gorgeous. I'm not sure if the color looks pretty true on the camera. It's like a dark pink, and then it's got some burgundy and some lighter pinks in it. The color of it is called Anemone, Anemone. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correct. This one is of course, it's a number 4. It's a 10-ounce ball, 283 grams, 482 yards, and 440 meters. And it shows a scuba, the pattern on here is a 1 skein pattern, and it's a little shawl, and it's in the color scuba, which is one color I don't think I have. But that's pretty. I might actually make that. I don't know. I'm looking for a nice pattern to make something with these. But I got 2 of them. I didn't want to go overboard. I wanted to try to keep my spending down. But I thought 2 of them would get me started on something, if not finished. And the one I really want to make this out of is that blanket that Creative Grandma wrote the pattern for, and it's on my phone, so I don't know, I can't get it off right now, but it's the one where she uses the ombre, and she, how does she call it? It's not color control, but basically she starts at a certain point in the skein, and she'll tell you where to start, and then you basically will start you're making granny squares with these. And I actually might, and you get 3 granny squares per skein. And then the extra that you don't use, or, like the colors that are, or the ones that are in between the colors that you're not using, you roll them up and you'll use them for either the border around the blanket or stitching the granny squares together. So they're being used. It's not like you're wasting your yarn. But in her pattern, it said 1 skein will get you about 3 squares. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there is 16 squares on her blanket. Now, that's if you make it her size, which obviously, you can make it as big or as little as you want. But I might actually start it and make it and just, buy as I go. Because I really am looking for another pattern, blanket pattern to do, but I also have one I need to do for the fair, and I can't procrastinate on that one. I need to order that, actually. I'm going to be purchasing that from, I think it's Hirschner's that I decided to go with. They have a mandala blanket that is white and shades of blue, and the whole kit for that pattern, for that whole blanket is $24.99. But I'm waiting till they have a little bit of a sale, maybe free shipping. The shipping is killing me, because if it's like $11 shipping. And I don't have the extra money to make it worth it, to add like an extra $15 worth of stuff to, before it would change. So I'm going to just kind of wait on that. I'm sure I can do it pretty shortly here. So that's what I wanted to show you, my new yarn. And then also I got these really cute stencils because I was watching Jane with Scraptastic Yarns and she was showing how she was doing her journals. And now I always buy these style books when I see them on sale at like Walmart or Staples or whatever. Like I get these $1 a piece and I love them because they're just so versatile. And I bought a bunch of these. And then I also I do have some actual journals. So I had one that looks like this. That is, where you do this and then you have the journaling here. And then I also have a butterfly. And I really like this butterfly one. And again, I got these at AC Moore when they were like 3 for $10. So I have, one of these are going to be used for one of my giveaways. I already have one of these set aside for my my personal journal. It's going to be probably like a combination of keeping track of my health, because there's going to be so much going on in 2020 with my health. Like I have a orthopedic surgeon for my elbow, I have an orthopedic surgeon for my foot, and I have an orthopedic surgeon for my spine. So that's not including my endocrinologist, my gynecologist. When I start getting into my mental health, any physical therapy or any kind of therapy I'm going through, my family doctor appointments, things like that. I'm going to need to keep track of that because my fibro brain up here does not remember a lot of things or may remember incorrectly. So, but anyhow, so like back to these journals. Jane was showing me I say it's showing me because I feel like we're like one-on-one. But she was using double-sided tape and she was using like cardstock or paper that you would use in a scrapbook and decorating this. And I actually found my scrapbooking stuff. The stuff, I did get rid of some, but I did keep a lot of it when I moved here to Pennsylvania. So I pulled out 2 of these journals. One is going to be for my channel. One is going to be just for crocheting ideas, things like that. And then I bought these stencils for $2.99 at Walmart. There's 14 designs. So this one says, think positive, be positive. And I am a firm believer that positive attracts positive, the law of attraction. If you do not know anything about the law of attraction, look it up. Maybe grab a book on it at the library. I read the law of attraction, or I should say, I watched the YouTube. Was it on YouTube or Netflix? But it's called The Secret. And it changed my life. My coworker, I was going through a really, really bad time in my life. I'll just tell you briefly without going into description. 6 weeks into my marriage, my 3rd marriage, my husband ended up in jail and then eventually prison for 10 years. So I went into a very deep, dark place in my life. My friend Sherry in Arizona was my person that grabbed my hand and held on to me until I came out of that deep, dark place. And for that, I am forever grateful for her. And she's the one that gave me a law of attraction book to read. She had me watching or listening to it, because you don't need to even watch it. You can just listen to it as you're working out or as you're just relaxing, listening to The Secret. And if you think positive, your outcomes are going to be positive. If you think about it in your life, anytime that you started feeling negative and you let negative energy into your life just kept pulling down and pulling down and pulling down. But as soon as you let that positive in your life, then your positivity levels go up and up and up, and your life gets lighter, it brightens up, the sun comes out, and it stays out. Even through all of my pain that I deal with and my health issues, I always try to find the positive in everything. Even if it comes to the death of a friend, or a loved one, or a pet, or somebody got into an accident. I just recently had my ex-boyfriend in Arizona. He got into an accident and did about $8,000 worth of damage to his car. Because he was driving for Lyft, he had to use their insurance. And when it happened, so his deductible was like $2,500. He couldn't afford to pay it. He had to give his car back to Toyota because he couldn't afford to pay the deductible, which is really sad. And I feel bad for him, and I wish I can be there because I still love him to death. The only reason why we're apart is because I moved back to Pennsylvania. We still talk to each other every day. We still say, I love you. He's always going to be in my life, and be a part of it. But he was in a situation that was getting toxic for him. And I think this, no matter how far deep down and dark it's getting for him right now, I think once he finally pulls through it and gets out of this, he's going to see that it was actually a blessing in disguise. I really, truly feel that way. And I'm trying to keep that in his head. He suffers from depression just as bad, if not actually worse than I do. So I try to always remind him that things happen for a reason, whether you know it now or not. Why? You will find out why. And I kind of put a little, hint in his mind of why I think that this is a positive thing for him. But it's hard. So anyhow, some of these say, let's see if they get them in here. So these say yay and be you and joy, some pretty flowers, sweet, and then dream, and then some more pretty flowers. So I'm really looking forward to using these. I saw one of the UK channels that I watch. She uses some kind of paint, and she will use stencils, and she'll scrape, put the paint on it and scrape over, and then she'll wash it off real quick. And I think it's some kind of textured paint. I started looking at the paints, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money. So I figured I'll just use markers that I have on my desk at work, or I have a whole huge thing of colored pencils that I will use just temporarily right now, because I just didn't want to add, because I could have easily added another $10 to my already high bill that I had. So I decided just to stick with these, and I thought that they were really super cute. And one more last thing. So as many of you may know, I am in the process of making and selling stitch markers right now. I have some that are up for sale, and I did show them on my last video. So if you haven't seen them, please go check my last video out. Also, I did find my other parts that I was looking for. Remember I told you I know they're here somewhere. I found them. They were actually in the preemie bag with the preemie blanket that I was working on. So I will be making more stitch markers as soon as I feel like I want to, mess around with my beads, because I tend to get them on the floor and they fall and then I yell and I curse. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun with that. But so anyhow, that is all I have for you today. I do have another video that I want to eventually post, and I know I'm running late with it. It is my 2020 challenge. Not my 2020 challenge. Well, I guess it is. It's where other YouTube channels can post their YouTube channels and information in the comment section so people can find them, kind of like giving themselves a shout out. I do want to do one of those yet. If you're in the state of Pennsylvania and you have a YouTube channel, or you're just a subscriber and you are interested in possibly meeting up, put a comment in the box in my comments below so I know. We're trying to get some people together to do a couple different get-togethers, and we're trying to make it as centrally located as possible so those who don't mind driving a little bit further, can do so to help out those who cannot drive that far. So, and I want to give a shout out to my hometown people. And then also I will be doing shout outs for other YouTubers as well that aren't from Pennsylvania. So you don't have to be from Pennsylvania for you to get a shout out from me. So if you want a shout out, by all means, put your channel in my description box so that I know where I can find you. I'll go check you out so that I can give a review and then hopefully get you some more subscribers. And I think that's about it. I want to thank each and every one of my subscribers, whether you've been with me from the beginning or you're just starting and that you just found me. I truly appreciate it. I really am looking forward to 2020. I think it's going to be a great year and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I see I see at least a few trips to some festivals, maybe some smaller ones because of my mobility issues. But I do want to hit up one big Viber festival sometime soon. Within the next 6 months, and I'm going to make sure I give myself spending money for it. So with that being said, I want to wish you all a good night. I hope you had a good extended weekend if you had off today. I surely did, but I doesn't feel like it. I'm super exhausted and it's still not done yet. But just have a great night and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.